back at West Main. Let me show you exactly what I did today. All right, guys and girls, another glorious back training session in the books here. And if you've been watching any of our videos, you see me in back do a lot of supersets. You see me start every single session with straight arm pull downs, and we didn't do any of that today. So a little bit different of a setup for back. And I actually have something new that that I started this session with as just an activation. None of these are gonna be working sets. I actually got this from a guy named Kuba on Instagram, and I'll get a chance to tag him in here so no one thinks I'm stealing his stuff, because I learned this 100% from him. So in this session, it's hard, it's heavy. I pull a lot, and it just felt great. Back feels healthy, and do nothing but growing into the show. So follow along, I'll show you exactly what I did. All right, so with this beginning setup, it's just a single arm cable pull down. And like I said, I got this from Kuba off of his Instagram. I saw it and I was like, man, that just makes a whole lot of sense. So the premise is activate the lat, warm up the shoulder, get everything pumped, and then immediately after you do 10 on the right, 10 on the left, then you drop down and do a plank for 30 seconds. So with this plank, it's all about core stabilization. And if we think about back and bracing and abdominal bracing through all of our rowing patterns, it's extremely important. So we wanna be able to tap into all the musculature we're gonna need and require later in the session. So I did 3 rounds of this. It took me 5 minutes total, and none of these are working. All I'm thinking about doing is activate the lat, get warmed up, get a good sweat going, and then for the plank, I'm thinking about stabilizing the core, squeezing my abs as hard as possible. If you even look really closely, you'll see me like really trembling and shaking. That's because that's how hard I'm squeezing my abs, because I'm trying to replicate what it's gonna feel like when I do heavy dumbbell rows. So do this, 3 rounds, felt incredible. First exercise of the day of what I would consider hard work, and that's gonna be the single arm supinated pull down that John taught us all. So starting out with 2 really intelligent guy exercises, one from Kuba, one from John. And with this, I just pyramided down, starting with 15, 12, 10, and then the final set here, I did the whole stack. And I can't remember how many reps that was. I think it was 10, 9.5. And I'm stoked with that. So pulling the whole stack on single arm pull downs. I did right arm, left arm. I rested 2 minutes, dropped it to 140, and you'll see me here really squeeze these out. So I'm thinking about driving the elbow down into the pocket, squeezing my lat as hard as humanly possible, and then I'm gonna do, I think I got 15 there each arm. Second exercise in rotation here, and that's gonna be the wide grip lat pull down. Now, I've actually done this twice in a row, so last week and this week for my Friday session, because it felt so freaking good. And what I'm thinking about here, I'm using my Versa grip so that I can strap in really quickly, and I'm just doing a rest pulse. I try to stay pretty upright posture-wise, and I'm thinking about just sitting my elbows down on my rib cage and really working all that meat underneath my armpits. And with this, I'm telling you, just go 3 mini sets to failure, 20-second rest periods, and your upper back, rear delts will be absolutely crushed. All right, now time to get into some real work, dumbbell rows. I did 3 warm-ups because I really wanted to get in the motion and rhythm of rowing. So what I want to think about here is when I'm rowing with this dumbbell, I had the 140 here today, and I'm just trying to crush reps. Where my first 3 sets that we didn't film, I did 60, 80, and 100, and that's all about precision and accuracy. Then I'm going to dominate 140. And then for my back off, I'm gonna drop down to the 70 and really focus on opening that back fully up, squeezing in fully, shortening that lat on every single rep. So I just literally cut the weight in half. So 140 for the top set, 70 for the back off. And after this, honestly, I probably could have left the gym because my back felt so good and pumped. Next up in rotation is going to be the Dante row. And if you notice this setup here, I know I definitely haven't filmed this on YouTube, but I've for sure posted it on Instagram. I just take a flat bench over to this seated cable row because the bench on this is too shallow to where if I didn't bring over the flat bench to brace my knees on, I literally would be bottoming the stack out when I get into a full stretch. So that's number 1. Number 2 here, you'll notice me using the double D handles. So with this being a split cable system, it feels really incredible to grab those D handles, go in a fully neutral position with my hands, and then essentially just take my elbows and set it on my hip. And that's what I'm thinking about with every one of these reps. I'm thinking about driving my elbows and my forearms across the ground, and that's gonna get the most amount of lat. And then the last little final piece I wanna leave you guys here with here is pay attention to how much I allow my lat to stretch the top of this rep. Every single rep is that way for the entirety of this rest pulse set. That's why this is the moneymaker to me. We have to get the full stretch, and then we have to get down to the full contraction. That's what's gonna help build our lats on this exercise. back to another hard, heavy basic. I grabbed the 100-pound dumbbells. I head over and do the Pritchette rows. Now, I'd been working up to 115s, but that was third in rotation. This is gonna be last in rotation. So I grabbed the 100s today, and I just wanted to get a bunch of clean reps. So I don't know how many reps I got there. I'm just thinking about pulling and driving with my elbows with a neutral grip with the 100s. After that, I literally dropped those, went over the rack, picked up the 60s. And with this, I'm gonna switch to a semi-pronated. So this I'm gonna try to get for my back off within the same set. I'm going to strip down and I'm thinking about driving my elbows out a little bit more. And this way it's gonna get some upper back and also get some lat in there with this semi-pronated grip with the 60s. So one working set there, and then now one to some low back to finish the day up. Now, we don't have a regular hyperextension bench here, we just have a GHR. So I hook a band to the bottom of it, and I just go until my hamstrings start to take over. And since we trained hamstrings and glutes yesterday, if you wanna watch that video, here it is. My hamstrings are tender. So I wanted to make sure as soon as my hamstrings started to cut on, I literally dropped the band and started going to body weight to transfer all that load back to my erectors. And then again, same thing, go until my hamstrings begin to kick in and do some of the work. So I did one work set there with that drop set. I did 3 that you didn't see on camera beforehand, of sets of 20. To get a pump in my erectors before doing the hard all-out set here. And that was it for back, guys. Start to finish. Not a lot of supersets, not a ton of volume, but to the point, to the face, and it has hammered my back. From my traps to my glutes, I feel pumped. And that's how I know it was a perfect day. This is the right amount of volume for me to recover and grow off of, because in, let's see, 2 days, on Monday, I'm gonna hit back again. So if you like this video, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, Chris on the CV.